Hey guys, this is Octavian from iTouchApps.net, and today I'm going to be reviewing a game called Lost Echo, which is created by Kickback, costs $2.99, and is compatible with the iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch. So this game starts off with the main character meeting his friend Chloe for a coffee, and basically she picks up the phone and starts walking to answer it. And all of a sudden, she, gets sucked up in this portal, and there's an explosion. And basically, what happens to you as Greg is, obviously, you're injured from the explosion, and you get put into a hospital. And as the main character, you wake up, and you're really confused about what happened. And you're in bed, and you're just tapping around, trying to figure out what happened. So this is the part where you wake up in the hospital. So yeah, you can see the graphics here. They're actually pretty nice. And this game, as you're going throughout it, you can see that there's a narrative going on where Greg is kind of just talking to himself. Too much light in my eyes, it hurts, where's Chloe, and so forth. So this game is big on the narrative dialogue. I don't know why I just said dialogue so weird like that. I'm sorry. Yeah, so basically, some people like this narrative style, while others feel that it's a bit boring and there's, too much talking going on. Now, in the beginning, the game does take a while to get into. I believe it's about like 10 minutes just for the beginning cutscenes and just sitting around tapping on these things and just having Greg talk to himself. And eventually you figure out that there's like a nurse button that you can use to call the nurse over. It's this thing over here in the left, the blue thing sitting on the in the wood. So you call the nurse over and you start talking to her. And Greg, the main character, just he's kind of confused because he feels like there's a conspiracy going on. The nurse is kind of like, "Are you feeling okay? Like, what's wrong with you?" And later on, your friend comes in, and I'll show you just how weird it gets. Let me load up the friend part. So here your friends come to visit you, and of course you're kind of like, "Why are you waking me up?" And your friends, he seems really worried, according to the dialogue, and there's never any speaking going on, and the characters never actually, their faces never actually change. Other than the text that you read, there's not much going on in terms of character development and excitement and hearing their voices and so forth. So here Greg is talking about the accident, and he's saying, I passed out, I remember much, and his friend's kind of saying like, "Oh, it was an accident or maybe a terrorist attack," and Greg's kind of confused because what he saw was like obviously like a weird teleportation type of portal or something. So as Greg continues to talk to his friend Tom, he finds out that Tom actually doesn't know who the girl that disappeared was. So like Greg is just sitting here going like, there was this girl, you've met her before, she disappeared, and Tom's just kind of confused as to what Greg is talking about, the main character. And you as the main character, you basically find out that you don't want to tell people what you really know because you can't really trust, you can't really know who to trust to tell them stuff. So there, as you saw, for example, I was given the option to lie to him and not tell him the truth. And even he himself tells me that there's some people that have had brain damages from this accident that happened from the explosion, and their brain damage is going to get marked on their health records. And Tom's just kind of like, don't tell the doctor you have any brain damage. Tell her you're fine. And yeah, this game, it's I mean, I can't really show you much of the gameplay. It's just tapping on things and kind of a puzzle, but it's really about figuring out what happened to Chloe, and figuring out all of the mysteries of this lost world, Lost Echo's world, so to speak. So it's a really interesting game, but if you're not a person who's into narratives or maybe puzzle games, this game probably isn't going to be worth it for you. Because there's some people in the reviews, they're saying, there's no hints, you're just tapping through dialogue. As you can see here, we've been tapping through dialogue for like 5 minutes. People are saying it's boring, there's circular wandering. And on the other end, other players are hailing it as a unique game with a truly amazing narrative style. So, it's really up to you, but if you're the type of person that enjoys like a 8-minute intro of just tapping through dialogue, you're probably going to enjoy this game. And if you're the person who doesn't, then you're going to know to stay away from this and, not waste your $2.99, so to speak. That's about it for this app. All I want to mention is that there's 2 different game modes, one which is casual and the other which is normal. And I think the only difference is that casual gameplay is easier to get through, while the normal gameplay is, the entire game at its full length and harder to get through and more puzzles and so forth. But yeah, there's plenty of mysteries, puzzles, and side missions to play in this game once you get started and you get past all of the introductions with everybody. Thanks for watching this app review, and have a great day.